everybody, it's Gary Vaynerchuk. Today's very special Friday laid-back episode of Wine Library TV is obviously a little pun, having a little fun. Obviously very excited about the new series starting on HBO this weekend. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, why are you doing silly shows? We did one back in episode 69. Mott linked that up. I hope you enjoy this. We're having a little fun today on a Friday. I mean, we've pumped out 500 shows, mainly serious about wine, but we're taking a little twist today. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a very, very good show. And, of course, I have to give my prediction for this weekend's football game. Jets 27, Dolphins 14, well on our way to the greatest season of all time. So lay back with me this Friday, sit back, watch this show. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Let's get into Friday's episode. Hello everybody, welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program, and we are very, very lucky to be tasting what we're tasting today. This is a very special episode. Obviously, you've all been reading the news. We're all very fortunate that this amazing beverage has been put together by the Yakonomo Corporation in Japan. They've found a way to make this synthetic blood beverage, and because of that, we're all fortunate now that the vampires don't have to go around and, you know, take us out, because they can actually drink this. So that's very exciting, bringing a lot more peace and harmony into our world, which I think we always need. Now, so we've got two types today. They've got four types. They've got the O type, the A type, the B type, and the AB type. We're going to focus on, I believe, the A, yes, and the red-hot selling O type that is just flying out of the stores. You know, the Blood Advocate scored 95 points. I mean, big score, so I'm very excited about that. And, you know, it's always about expanding your palate here on the Thunder Show. So even though these blood synthetic drinks are not made for humans, and I promise you I am not a vampire, not that there's anything wrong with that, I will be expanding my palate today and tasting these two wines. If you want to find out more about the other types, anything about that, you need to go to truebeverage.com. Mott, link that up, and let's get right into the tasting. I mean, are you excited about this? Yeah, I mean, let's see what's going on. Zoom in right here. Here we go with the True Blood 100 Pure A type. Zoom in there, Mott. Now, these are retailing, you know, anywhere between $15 and $20 a pop, so they're kind of pricey. And you can see nice and thick there. Let's see what's going on here. Let's give it a snippy sniff.
Nice color.
Now, I'm allowed to drink this, right? You know, I'm still a little worried. I think you can. You know, I mean, when I cut myself, I'm all up in my blood every time, so I've got to feel like I can do that. Let's give it a snippy sniff. Very dark, almost like, very tannic. Reminds me of a Tanat, believe it or not. If you were going wine terms, which I'm a wine guy. Coming through with very, like, almost like blackberry types, but obviously it smells like blood. I mean, we've all, you know, smelled blood at some level, so it does come across very blood-like. Very dark, though, and very, you know, tannicky on the nose, I would say. Let's give it a whirl. Clearly, wow, clearly a very different density than I'm used to with the Vino. The grape juice is a little bit thinner. This is some thick stuff. You know, sometimes I talk about thick milk-like characteristic. This is very difficult to consume. I mean, it's really taken over my entire palate. I'm not even sure how I'm going to taste the next one. Invades it. Has a nice mid-palate component to it. I like the transition. It gets a little darker as it gets towards the tail end. Some good length. All in all, I know it scored 92 points by the Blood Advocate. I'm going to go a little bit lower on this, though I haven't had a lot of experience. You know, it kind of reminds me of when we're tasting Ohio wine, or wine from, you know, maybe from Egypt, like we did the other day. But it's still bringing good complexity. As a beverage as a whole, it doesn't bother me too much. I can see where a lot of the vampires are enjoying this. It's a little bit more delicate, probably for an earlier palate vampire, probably a teenager, maybe, is really going to gravitate towards this. I'm not sure about the drinking age. Maybe I think they can drink right away, right? So, you know, no big deal there. So, very solid effort. Not 92 points like the Blood Advocate says, but I'm going to go more in the 89-point range. Let's move on. True Blood. O negative. Now this is the one that everybody's going crazy about. You know, on allocation, most of the stores aren't even able to get it. We here at the Wine Library have been asking our distributors if they're going to carry it. Oh, you can see the difference. Look at that. But we've been unable to get it. I mean, this is really, really difficult. We're really honored. Thanks, True Beverage, for allowing us to try this. True Blood coming through for us. Some great color, Mott. I mean, just gorgeous. But you can see the density, Mott. You're seeing a different density than you see from the Vino. Let's give it a sniffy sniff, because that's what we do. A lot tighter than the last wine. Really tight nose. Maybe you got to put this away for maybe 3 or 4 years in your cellar before you would open it up. But I really could see us maybe needing a decanter to really jump into this O-type True Blood here. Try a little more, just a little bit of a, maybe like a berry action, cranberry component coming through, sneaking through in the tail end. Let's give it a whirl. Wow. Clearly, I have a non-blood palate. Now, remember, just like with white wine, where I want to drink it at room temperature, and most of you drink it at, you know, cold in the fridge, I'm probably not drinking this at the temperature. From, you know, what I've heard and the trends, most people right now are drinking these beverages at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. We're drinking it here at room temperature, so maybe I'm missing a little something there. I'll have to, you know, heat this up and check it out a little bit later. But there is clearly far more complexity in the O-type. This is a much more serious beverage. I would say put away for 3 to 4 years and maybe then only approach and see if it opens up and shows you all the nuances and complexities that it clearly has inside. Still tasting it on my palate, very dense, very difficult for me to really break it down, as I am clearly not a blood connoisseur. Now, that being said, I do drink root beer, and we've done spirits, and we've done a lot of things here on the Thunder Show. So going to blood, expanding my palate, I'm excited about that. Again, there were some nuances of Tanat from the Mataron, so that'll help me pick it up. This is clearly a very epic effort. I'm going to score this 93 points. I'm not going to go quite as high, but I'm really feeling this. If I was to drink blood, this would be the one. Pretty interesting. I feel like my palate is evolving, and that's always a good thing. What else? Not too much. Question of the day. Let's do that. What is your blood type? You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the blood world, whether they like it or not.